Hi, so it's Sam here, and I just wanted to let people know what I've done to our motorhome. As you can see, the front passenger seat's not in there. We had a problem when we were out last in the motorhome where the leisure battery kept dying, and as a result of that we decided to splash out and to get a new leisure battery. And what we did was we went and we bought ourselves a lithium battery, and this is an Victron 150 amp hour LiFePO lithium battery. So we splashed out and got that. And whilst we were away, we also had another problem with our TV. So this is the battery. Our leisure battery used to be under the passenger seat. I've taken it out just to do all these changes, and I've moved it into this area here. It used to be a storage area under a seat, and there it is. So there is our leisure battery, and here is our Victron MultiPlus inverter charger. It's a hybrid one, which I'll try and explain a bit more about in a minute, but it's 12 volts, so it's 12 volts going in, and it can provide 1600 watts of power. So that means it will power any of our household devices within the motorhome up to 1600 watts. So that's that looking good. This is the TV we bought. It's the LG TV, 19 volts. Hence we need the inverter. Handy thing is we can fold it away and we can watch it in bed if we want to, which is quite handy. And with it being a smart TV, connects into my phone, and it has got Prime on it, Netflix, and a lot of other stuff, and there's a lot of other possibilities we can do with that. So that's really good as well. So I'll explain the connections. What I've done is under the gas hob here is where the electric comes in from the house, or what would be the electric hookup point outside. It goes through the cupboards, out of sight, along the ceiling, the roof, into these cupboards, and it comes down into the area here where our inverter charger is and where our leisure battery is, and it goes into this breaker box. This is a 16 amp breaker, and it is the original breaker that was in the van before. We've not changed that in any way. It then goes from that breaker box and it goes into AC in on the inverter charger. So that's the power going into the charger from the electric hookup. The lead next to it is AC out, so that's power coming out of the inverter charger, and it then goes all the way back up, follows that route, and it's behind that panel there. And behind that panel there is a hookup area where a connector block, and it connects into that, and the AC power then gets taken out to all the AC plugs in the motorhome. So a bit more about the inverter charger. So what we have got here is then we have got this lead here is an internet style lead, I think RJ45 or something like that, and that goes all the way up to the multi-control panel. You don't have to buy this, but we decided to buy it, and this is quite handy, and it gives you the benefit of being able to control it without having to go into the cupboard underneath the seat. And I can turn it on, I can turn the inverter charger off, or I can just put it on charger. And also we've got this control switch here, and I can turn that up or down in relation to the amount of power that's being provided by the electric hookup box outside. And we're on a 16 amp trip on the thing, so we're set at 16 amps on the that's that lead. So this next to that, there's this little lead here, you can just about see it. It's on below the on-off switch, and that is the trickle start charge lead. That lead goes all the way to the starter battery, and what it does, it provides a trickle charge into the starter battery. So whenever this device is turned on and you're plugged into mains, and stuff, what happens is that it will trickle charge the starter battery, which is great because it helps to keep that fully charged. And also next to this we have got this, the black lead is the lead coming from the leisure battery back into the inverter charger, and the red lead is the power going out of the inverter charger into the leisure battery. And the this inverter charger will charge up the leisure battery quite quickly. I mean, earlier on when I looked at it, it was doing something like 40 amps of charge when I first started it all up, so it does charge up your leisure battery quite quickly. So a little bit more information about the mounting control. It's really good. It's currently set on 16 amps, so that means the 16 amps of power can come through the electric hookup. Now I've set it to 6. Now, where this is good, in the past we were on a campsite, and the campsite only gave 6 amps of power on its electric hookup. And what we found is whenever we were using stuff in the van with slightly higher power, it kept tripping, and it really was a pain in the butt. But the good thing about the inverter charger is that is now set on 6 amps. So the inverter charger will only allow 6 amps of power to come from the electric hookup outside. What happens is, so say the van is using 8 amps of power, it wants 8 amps of power to power everything that we're using. What will happen is it will take the 6 amps of power from outside, and it will then take the other 2 amps of power from the leisure battery. So the 6 amps from outside, the 2 amps from the leisure battery, and that will give us the 8 amps that the van needs. Now if the battery, if the inverter charger needed more than 6 amps or using more than 8 amps, it would take whatever extra it needed from the battery, which is really good. So we shouldn't be having to walk outside to reset the trip switches anymore. Another good thing about our inverter charger is that it also operates as an uninterrupted power supply. And basically what that means is, if you can see that our television is on, I've just turned the kettle on and you can hear it starting to heat up. And if I turn the power off on the inverter charger, right, that's it. So basically now no electric is coming into the motorhome from outside, from the electric hookup. But as you can see, the kettle's still boiling, the TV is still on, and if we look up here on our panel, you'll see that it says inverter on. And if we look down here, we have a green light on our inverter charger. So what that means is that right now the kettle and the TV are being powered by the leisure battery. The inverter charger is taking the power it needs from the leisure battery, which is DC power. It's converting it into AC power, which is house power, and is sending it to the TV and the kettle. So that's a really good thing, so that when you're out and about, if we just stop and pull over, we don't have to use gas to boil the kettle. We can just plug the kettle in, put it on, have a quick cup of tea, and this is, in the long run, it's probably going to save a fair bit of gas over time. So a really good thing to have with the motorhome now.